Hello, everybody. I am Teacher Paul, and today we are going to learn about present perfect tense. But first, let's do a warmer to get to know each other. I'm sure you guys are dying to know more about me. So, we're going to play a speed interview. Okay. So, a speed interview is where five of you can ask me questions and we'll get to know each other a little better. So, raise your hand, please, if you have a question you would like to ask me. This is the speed interviewing starting now. First, go ahead. Good question. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the United States. Very good. Next question. How about over here? Yes, I do have. I have three children. They're all boys. So they're a lot. They're a lot of work. Very good. And another question. How about back here in the middle? Very good. I have been in the I have been in Thailand for 3 years. Good. And how about a question here? Um, I have been teaching for 11 years, more than 11 years, but over a span of 20 years. I first started a business in English school in China 21 years ago. So, very good. And the last question here. Oh, what are my hobbies? My hobbies are I love to spend time with my children and we love to travel together. So, very good questions. Let's get into the presentation. So, first, we're going to talk about present perfect tense, what it looks like, how to use it, and when to use it. Okay, gets very confusing. Even native English speakers have difficulty with this. So, what is present perfect tense? So, present perfect tense is used to express past events that has present consequences. Okay, so we're going to talk about that more, but if you are uncomfortable with using present perfect tense, then there's probably a few reasons for that. Maybe you're unsure about those nasty irregular verbs, right? That we all have to memorize. Or maybe you're unsure when to use past simple or past perfect. Even if you're quite good at using present perfect tense, it is definitely worth reviewing this to jog that memory. That's an idiom. Does anybody know what that idiom means? Yes. Yeah, remember or to remind yourself, right? To remind yourself. Very good. Good job. Well done. Very good. What's your name? Your English name is Apple. Okay, very good. Nice to meet you, Apple. Um, so the first thing that we want to learn is the grammatical structure of present perfect tense. So we have the subject first. This is present perfect. Then we have plus have or has plus the main verb. Okay? And the main verb has to be in the past participle. Okay, so we're going to talk about that more, but just to give you an idea, the subject can you can use a proper noun or a pronoun in the subject, like I, you, they. Have and has is an auxiliary verb, okay? And it is unstressed. We don't stress. So we'll talk about that more. But first, let's talk about the main verb in the past participle. When we're talking about the main verb in the past participle, there's no problem for regular past tense verbs. We just add something to the end of the verb. Can anybody tell me in a past simple verb, what do we add to the verb to make it past tense? Yes, here in the back. ED, that's right, very good. So let me give you some examples. We have present simple watch, past simple watched, present simple watched. Okay. Then we have present simple laugh, past simple laughed, and past participle laughed. And then present simple is we have dance, and then we have past simple danced, and past participle dance. So they can be the same sometimes. So some irregular verbs use the same verb sometimes as well as the simple as the past simple verb for the past participle form. And I'm going to give you some examples of that as well. So even in some irregular verbs, we use them the same as the past participle as the past simple. For example, we have the past simple or the present simple, excuse me, of have, past simple of has, the past participle as has. And then we have when for the present simple, past simple is when, and the past participle is one. Okay, so and then we go to irregular verbs is go, went, and gone, or been. Okay, so we're going to get into those irregular verbs here in a minute. So we're doing a great job. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, well done. No questions? Okay, so we're going to have to polish up on our irregular verbs when we're talking about present perfect. So let's get back to our present perfect form, which is subject plus have or has plus main verb in the past participle. Okay, so I want to give you some questions, and I want to call around the room and ask me if you can tell me which part of the sentence is the present perfect tense. So, I wrote them on the board here. I have asked my parents to loan me some money. Who can raise their hand and tell me which part of that sentence is the present perfect part, the present perfect words? How about here? I have asked. Very good. Is it a regular verb or irregular verb? It's a regular verb. Very good. So next sentence. You have been helpful today. So how about on this side of the room? Back here? Yes. You have been. Very good. It is the present perfect part of the verb. Is it a regular verb or irregular verb? It is irregular, right? And the last sentence, he has saved enough money to buy a car. How about in the middle, back here? He has saved. Very good. So is that a regular verb or irregular verb? It's a regular verb. Very good. You guys have done a great job. Well done. So now, before I give you some more examples, let's talk about when to use the past simple tense and when to use the present perfect tense. Because this is the most confusing part. People get confused all the time about this. And I'm going to give you a simple way to think about how you use the past simple in the present perfect tense. First, I want you to think about, I wrote up here, finish time. Okay, so finish time. Who can tell me what would finish time be, past simple or present perfect? How about on this side? It's past simple. Very good. So, what are some words that go with finish time? I'll help you. Yesterday. Last week. Anybody can? Last month. Very good. Make sure you raise your hand. Good job. Last month. Very good. And any other one? How about here? Last year. Good job. Very good. So these are finish time words. Okay. So let's go to present perfect. What words would go with what we call unfinished time? Present perfect, we want to think of unfinished time. What's unfinished time? These are kind of hard, so I'm going to help you with the first one. Today. We haven't finished today yet. We're studying, right? So, very good. Any others? What about the week? Have we this week? Raise your hand. Good job, though. Very good. This week. And I think you're going to get the idea now. This year. Okay, that's right. This year. And we could say also something before that. How about this month? Very good. So those are unfinished. That is unfinished time. Very good. And so uh, we've done this in perfect order. And so the present perfect, all of these have been in positive form. Now we have to think about the negative form. We also have negative form of present perfect. Can anybody think of the word we would use? Does anybody know? So first, we have the subject. Okay, we have plus have or has plus. This is the one that not. There we go. I heard somebody say in the back there. Good job. Not makes it negative. Plus main verb, which is in the past participle. Okay. So I'm going to give you one sentence that puts that all together. Okay. So the past participle, which is this month, I haven't visited him at all. Okay. We're using a negative form, haven't. Okay. So I want to express in English, especially in spoken English, If you want to speak like a native English speaker, you have to speak in contraction or try to speak in contraction, please. So, for example, we used haven't in this case. You can say, this month I have not visited him at all. Okay? But try to use those contractions. It makes you sound more like a fluent native speaker. So, why is it in present perfect? Can anybody tell me? Yes, that's right, because the month hasn't finished yet. We could still visit him. So one more example. So, well, actually, we have talked about positive, negative forms, but there's one other thing that present perfect does. And of course, you need to ask present perfect questions, right? So let's change the form of the, we're going to change the form again. Okay. We're going to use subject, excuse me, have or has, okay, plus the subject, plus the main verb, and it is in the past participle. Okay? It's the main verb. So you have or has plus subject plus main verb. Can anyone give me an example of a question in the present perfect? Yes, right here in the front. Has he cleaned the bathroom? That, yes, very good. That's great. And anybody else? Okay, let me help you. Have you eaten enough? Is another question. Has it rained today? Is another present perfect question. So good. So that is present perfect. There's a lot to think about when we use present perfect tense. I hope this lesson has made it a little easier for you to at least know the basics of present perfect. Let's wrap up with an assessment. I'm going to ask you a few questions. First question is, how do you change the present perfect positives to negatives? What do we add? Yes, here in the back. The word not. Very good. And when do we use unfinished time? What tense do we use for unfinished time? Yes, right here. We use present perfect. Very good. And when do we use finished time? How about right here? Past simple. Very good. You guys did a great job today. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you for a great class. I really enjoyed myself, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye.